Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kayla and this channel is to share my experiences, the pros and cons, the ups and downs of living, working, and studying abroad in the beautiful country of Spain. So today's video will be specifically about working in private English academies, teaching English. So there are lots of different routes that you can take to teach English in Spain. For example, if you are a European citizen, then you have the option of very easily moving to another European country and working there without any problem. If you're also American or Canadian or Australian or whatever it may be a bit more difficult to find that. You might have to find a specific program that helps you have a sponsored year abroad while getting paid to teach in private or public schools over here. So there are lots of different options you have. There are options online. It really depends on your personal situation. In my personal situation, I do have legal status to be working and living here. It all depends on your current situation. In my case, I am eligible to work in a private English academy. So even if you have to go through another route, say working in an auxiliary program, working in a public school for a year, a different sort of sponsored like work placement English teaching position that you can find in Spain, even if you work through one of those, doing a private English academy job in the evenings or on weekends or working with other businesses, teaching English classes, there are lots of different options you can have to mix those jobs together so you can have extra money for maybe more travel or just living the lifestyle you want to live. Okay, so I will just be talking about the pros and cons of teaching English at a private academy. So the first great thing that I love is the great pay rate compared to other jobs here in Spain. So it's kind of important to understand how normal job contracts work here. Normally a contract, or a typical job contract here in Spain would be that you work for the entire month, and for that month you get a set amount of money. So that will include your holiday pay, that will include your lunch breaks, it will include whatever. This is just your set amount of money and these are your work hours and that's what you will always have. That's normal, right? So for a private English academy, your contract will most likely be different. It'll be based on hours and you'll be getting paid per hour. So in my case, my private English academy pays $15 per hour. That's not for prep work, that's only for class time. So that's a pretty great pay rate compared to what other people are making. It can really be a plus for people that are working and living here abroad. So this pay rate of, $15 an hour is pretty great. However, it can range. I've seen in my personal area where I am, I'm currently in Bilbao, which is in northeastern Spain, one of the more expensive regions of the country to live in. I've seen pay rates between 12 to 15 euros an hour, and then after that some companies will raise your pay per hour by €1 each year that you work for them. It really depends on the academy. But this means that I have less hours in the work week, right? So I was working about 21 hours per week before the coronavirus pandemic hit. So that would be 21 times 15 for the 4 weeks. So that was pretty great. I had, a part-time work schedule, which gave me a lot of freedom in the mornings to do things that I want to do. For example, I'm learning Basque, which is a local language we have here in the Basque Country region of Spain. So I'm doing that in my free time because I have the time to do it. Or just take time for yourself, those interests, the things you want to do. And another great thing is that you normally will have a 3-day weekend, right? Private English academies are not going to normally have any classes on a Friday, and if they do, it might be optional for you to choose to teach those classes. So you really have the option to take long weekends very easily. You will also have the same schedule as the school schedule, the normal school schedule, so that means you'll have summers off and you will be able to travel during Christmas to see family. You'll have a big Easter break, so all of that is a plus for me while teaching in a private English academy. However, the downside of that is that because you are paid by hour and not by a normal Spanish sort of contract, you also are not covered for holidays the majority of the time. I still have not seen a private English academy that really does pay for holidays or for summer months, right? So you will have to know financially how you're going to pay for the summer months. There are plenty of ways to do that, which is a whole nother topic. But it's something that you should consider. Okay, so that would be the con of the pay rate would be that you then don't get your same stability for holiday pay. And if you lose classes or class hours for whatever reason, then you also lose money, and there's nothing you can really do to get that money back. But a great thing is that you can take on extra classes. So private academies work on a needs basis, right? So if I have a ton of students that come to my academy and they're all saying they want a class in this sort of thing, and I have my schedule open during that hour, then my boss could come to me and say, hey, you want to take on this class? Like, I have a lot of people that are asking about it. Would you feel comfortable doing it? And I can choose to say yes or no. So that can give me extra money. The downside to that, again, would be that then you can also lose students just as easily, right? So if all of a sudden students, their schedules change, they can't be at class at the same time, they have different priorities, and they just leave, especially if they're individual classes, or just like 2 or 3 young students, then, you know, if they decide to leave or something changes in their situation, that would be 15 euros a week less that you are making, which adds up if that happens with a couple classes within the same month. So that can happen as well. And something that's also great about my private English academy is that the material already comes prepared, right? So, well, prepared to a certain extent, right? So we have the curriculum. This curriculum is what we have to follow. It comes from a certain set of books, and it gives me the teaching material. It shows me how I can explain certain things, teaching tips, ideas for professors, and that's all really great for me because I personally don't have a TEFL certification for teaching English as a foreign language, which is something that many people say that you need, that's required to teach English in Spain, but it's really not. I got offered a lot of different positions at private English academies without having that. That may have to do with my with the region that I'm in the northeastern region of Spain. It's not as touristy as maybe like Valencia or Catalonia, or southern regions of Spain like Malaga, all of those areas. So maybe just because it's less touristy and there are less foreigners here, that they have less options, and they tend to take whoever is a native English speaker. But in my opinion, being native is, even if it's not necessarily fair for others who maybe are not native but speak perfect English, it tends to be the most important thing for you to get a job is to just be a native English speaker, right? And have that really great native accent. Now to talk about some more of the cons. I know I gave some sort of cons with the pros, sort of like the downsides. But another big con here that we have is your schedule, right? So I said one great thing about your schedule is that you normally have 3-day weekends, you'll have great holidays, a lot of vacation time if you want to go travel and be around Europe, and or just go back home and see your family from wherever you are. However, the breaks between classes in your normal like Monday through Thursday schedule can be really frustrating. If you're in a private academy, these are going to be hours that are after like school hours or after normal work hours. So you could start maybe at 4 in the afternoon and go till maybe 9:30 at night. It just depends. And so if you have like strange half-hour, 15-minute breaks in between all these classes, that's time that you have to be in the academy, but you are not able to do anything with that time, right? You can't really be working on something else because it's not enough time to switch gears and do something else or go somewhere or go for a drink with friends. You can't really do that because it doesn't give you, there's not enough leeway, right, in between that scheduled time. However, you can use this time to your advantage to do any prep work that you need to do. If you have to grade papers, maybe if you have an exam prep course and you have to give students feedback, or you just want to create an extra sort of fun activity, games for the kids, something else to challenge them, you know, you can take advantage of that time. However, you're sort of stuck there in the academy. You can't do anything with that time except prep for classes, really, and you're not getting paid for those hours. So that can be a con. Another thing that can be difficult is student behavior. So Spanish kids are sort of notorious for not having the same levels of, not levels, I don't know, not the same concentration or respect, dare I say, in the classroom as American students. if you're American as well, you'll know the kind of education system that we went through, and that obedience is a really important thing. Spanish students are a lot more upfront with what they think. They're a lot more loud. They just say what they think. And I mean, that's normal for lots of kids, but it's sort of on a different level. It's nothing that you can't handle. It's just sort of a different style you have to get used to. You have to know when to be strict and how to deal with it. So that's something that I struggled with personally, which has gotten easier for me over time. So it's something you can do as well. Another con about private English academies is that some academies don't allow you to teach for another academy if you already work for one. So I know lots of people who combine multiple different academies or do hours in one town at certain times of the day, or then other days they go to another town and there were different academies, and that can be a great way to make that extra cash if you are in need or you want to travel more. However, it's not always part of the deal, right? Sometimes they say, okay, look, you only work for us, you can't be working for other places. So if that is the case, just make sure you're prepared for that. Look at that contract beforehand just to make sure. But in my case, I have had no problem. I'm allowed to work in other places. Any sort of other employment that I want, as long as it's at different hours, is no problem. I can do that. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, that it helped you get a better sense of what some of the pros and cons are of working for a private English academy in Spain. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. If you like my content, or you want to hear something else about living as an expat in Spain, whether it be living, teaching, or studying, please let me know. Feel free to reach out to me personally or put it in the comments below. If you like this content, please give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Thank you for watching.